Hi everyone, Outside Xbox horror correspondent Andy here to talk to you about Halloween Horror Nights, a horror experience at Universal Studios in Hollywood and Orlando that takes place from now all the way until just after Halloween and is, in my opinion, one of the coolest things you can do if you're a horror fan. I was recently scared senseless at the Orlando event thanks to Universal and Virgin Atlantic Holidays and have returned with this report on the 7 scariest things I saw, whittled down from a long list of about 150 because otherwise we'd be here all day. Oh, and beware flashing imagery ahead because Halloween Horror Nights lighting is 95% strobe lighting. Let's go! It was a big year at Halloween Horror Nights for video game fans, with 2 of the 10 haunted houses being based on popular gaming franchises. As a massive fan of Bethesda's post-apocalyptic RPG series, I was most anticipating the house inspired by Fallout. I even chose the Fallout lanyard, a decision which had as much to do with the game as it did with the picture of Walton Goggins printed on it. The house was full of Easter eggs for fans of the games, including hidden bobbleheads, game-accurate stim packs, and a computer displaying the hacking minigame that'll be familiar to anyone who likes to read other people's diaries in video games. But this house is based much more on the TV show than the games, with multiple scenes from the show playing out in front of you in real life, such as Lucy's wedding in the vault being interrupted by raiders, and the ghouls' battle against the Brotherhood of Steel. The scary part though is the scene at the Super Duper Mart, which you'll remember from the show as the place where organ dealers are keeping live ghouls in refrigerators. Same deal here in the Halloween Horror Nights house, only it's a lot scarier when they're right next to you instead of on a TV screen. Of course, all Fallout game aficionados know that the scariest thing of all is a Deathclaw, which was present as a shadow, seen when leaving, and in skull form on the ground. Apparently this is a tease for Season 2 of the show, so look forward to that, Deathclaw haters. Our second video game themed house was the Five Nights at Freddy's house, which takes you inside Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, where you can get menaced by animatronics to your heart's content. These animatronics were created by Universal and the Jim Henson Creature Workshop, and they are incredible. They look exactly like they do in the games and film, and if you aren't scared of Freddy, Chica, Bonnie and Foxy in the game, let me tell you, you won't be so tough when they're 8 feet tall and right up in your face. Or murdering a guy right in front of you. Or, hey, marching towards you with violent intent. Even the cupcake is scary, which shouldn't be possible, but here we are. I'd been meaning to cut down on cakes anyway. This is good, actually. If you're unfamiliar with the Terrifier franchise, it's a series of 3 movies in which a murderous clown dismantles people in a variety of ways that are so grotesquely violent, people have fainted at screenings. This is the strong stuff, folks. So you can imagine how I was feeling heading into the Terrifier house, which is based on the Terrifier carnival attraction from the end of the second film. Despite not being the hugest fan of the movies, I found the house itself pretty fun, with lots of inventive scares and sight gags, and even a sing-along section. When you get to the end of the house, however, the path branches and you're given a choice. Do you take the dry path to the left or the blood bath to the right? The clown seems to want you to take the right path, but he would say that, wouldn't he? It feels like either option is the wrong one, but I can tell you, I took the wet path, and yes, I did get wet. At least that's my explanation if anyone asks why my trousers were damp. And I'm sticking to it. Jason Universe is another of the IP houses at this year's HHN, and no, it's not a sequel to Steven Universe, but rather the new direction for the Friday the 13th movies, described as a multi-platform expansion of the Friday the 13th franchise. I guess one of those platforms is Haunted House, because this house contains a potted history of Jason's backstory, including his mother Pamela, both alive.
Did you know a young boy drowned? The counselors weren't paying any attention. They were making love while that young boy drowned.
And dead. And a look at some of Jason's handiwork around Camp Crystal Lake. Many people are calling Jason Universe the scariest house this year, and that's down to its finale, known affectionately as the Gauntlet of Jasons. Beginning with entry through a giant hockey mask, this is 50 linear feet of non-stop jump scares as you're assailed on all sides by Jason's multiple incarnations throughout the years, all of whom want to jam something pointy into your head. You also get a brief look at Jason's redesigned look by horror legend Gregory Nicotero as you leave the house, but good luck getting a proper look at it as you stagger out, dazed, still dealing with the gauntlet you just went through. All I can say for sure is he definitely had a hockey mask. Solid Jason work. It's not all iconic horror franchises or touching yet scary tributes to beloved wrestlers at Halloween Horror Nights. Half of the 10 haunted houses are original stories dreamed up by Universal's creative team, and they're some of the most interesting, innovative, and downright scary experiences you can have during your time in the parks. This year's offering includes such slam dunk setups as demonic cowboy bounty hunters, a twisted dollhouse, Scandinavian folk horror, and a journey through the underworld. My favourite, and the scariest of the entire bunch, was the house El Artista, a Spanish haunting, which follows a tortured artist named Sergio Navarro, who moves to a remote manor to work, only to discover it is just lousy with people jumping out at you from behind curtains. This house was absolutely gorgeous, with loads of incredible practical effects, and this, one of the scariest things that's ever jumped out at me. See, this is why I do all my writing in a coffee shop. Way fewer ghosts. The haunted houses aren't the only places you can get scared at Halloween Horror Nights. Even outside the houses you aren't safe thanks to the multiple themed scare zones, which feature free-range scare actors who will lunge at you when you least expect it, like for example, when you're trying to buy a churro or go to the bathroom. This year's scare zones included Mutation, Toxic 20s, which features a bunch of mutated 1920s bootleggers, an opulent vampiric masquerade ball, and a creepy street where a sinister woman is turning children into cats.
Yes. This will do.
Even outside the official scare zones, Art the Clown from Terrifier is also roaming the park causing chaos, so you've got that to contend with as well. In a controversial move this year, Universal are offering Deathly Afraid light-up necklaces, which they say will lead to you being targeted less while in the scare zones. Although it might make getting served at the zombie diner Mel's Die-In a lot harder, so that's something to consider. Another big reason to visit Halloween Horror Nights is the food and drink, although in keeping with the theme of the event, a lot of it is as deliberately repulsive as possible. Take for example the Terrifier popcorn chicken, which comes in a popcorn bucket covered in a sauce that bears more than a passing resemblance to blood. Or the Fallout Radaway cocktail that comes in an IV bag, just like in the game. Or the Fallout deviled eggs that aren't actually eggs at all, but a panna cotta dessert. And I know this is mentioned in the movie, but this Five Nights at Freddy's pizza that comes with spaghetti and meatballs on top is one of the scariest things I saw all night. Maybe the idea is that you're so full of carbs you won't be able to run away from the animatronics? It would work on me. So those were the 7 scariest things at Halloween Horror Nights 34 at Universal Orlando. Would you go, or could no force on Earth compel you? Which haunted house is your star attraction? Let us know in the comments. Thanks to Universal and Virgin Atlantic for hosting us, and we'll see you next time on Outside Xbox.